which is to undertake a plan to cause change in the country through a plan different from that of the election. And so, maybe even before I talk about what really Plan B is, it may be helpful to make some definitions, because as the lawyers say, before they make the law, they define exercised within your country a whole range of rights and freedoms. If you feel you have no that freedom to exercise the whole range of rights, be free in everything that is prescribed for every individual in Uganda, Plan B is relevant to you. If you feel that you are not justly treated in your country, that you suffer injustice, systemic injustice of all kinds, whether it's political injustice, whether it's economic injustice, whether it's even cultural injustice, social injustice, whatever injustice you feel, even the justice in the courts. If you feel, if you have a grievance, you cannot get justice in your country, then Plan B is relevant to you. You better listen. So Plan B is not a bit of no justice. You must be asking, how does that change? And if I say that you are powerless, if you are powerless in your country, and therefore you have no influence in the wealth that goes on in the country, and that's why, frankly, some people are totally desperate, others don't know even how to use the overflowing things they have. That's what it's all about. Because you are not part of decisions that are made. Being powerless means you cannot make decisions in your country. That's what one of the elements telling Ugandans that I have not come to ask you for a vote. You don't have it. You. Doesn't matter even if you fill the boxes with your pieces of paper, they are just pieces of paper. If you have no power, you the person holding it. So, what or how or why are those who are powerless powerless? This is another question we need to answer before we talk about what Plan B is. Why are we powerless, those of us who say we are powerless, that we don't control our resources, people of Uganda, by force? So our power did not go away willingly, it was by force, and is kept by force. Those who have it keep it by force, guard it with using force. That's what happened. So we live in a captured state where you have citizens that are powerless. It means they live in a captured state. have never changed the leader by themselves. So, those two definitions are important in understanding Plan B. The first one, whom it relates to. The second one, how it became that those it relates to are in that situation. So Plan B is a plan, and how does that happen? It is our humble suggestion in this plan that power taken away from you by force will not be given to you simply because you have asked. However, politely, however long, what was taken away from you by force, guarded by force, is not about to be simply given back to you like that. So we assert under Plan B that the means to cause that change, to reclaim what is ours, our power, to reclaim our influence in the country, is to fight. In other words, Plan B is a plan for fighting. Plainly put. I would like to make it clear that there is a whole range of forms of fighting. A whole range, wide spectrum of means of fighting. From actually sitting down, you can fight while just seated down. I guess Ugandans who interest themselves in history, in our history, will know that our ancestors fought to get rid of colonial power here, to get rid of those who captured and created actually the country Uganda. In actual fact, we have already been fighting for quite some time now. Been fighting intensely. And that's why we have wounds. You don't get wounds just like that. That's why some of our colleagues are in graves. We've been fighting. On our side, we have not yet taken guns, but we've been fighting. So you, with a whole range of means and a whole range of tools. The late freedom fighter Nelson Mandela said that a freedom fighter fights using means. He said a freedom fighter as a not to bring all these forces and beat up people and club innocent Ugandans and take them to jails and, mutilate them there and so on. The response would be different from when he does that. So our means are actually dictated by the oppressor, the one who captured your power, and the one who exercises it with impunity against you. And I'm grateful, at least I was one of the authors. Our constitution, the constitution of Uganda, provides constitutional for freedom fighting. This is one of the uniqueness of the Ugandan constitution. Article 3 of our constitution talks about when usurpation of the constitution happens, what should follow. Demand, duty to do everything within our power to make sure that those who usurp our rights and freedoms and power are contained and the situation reversed. So, at this particular meeting, it simply suffices to know, I've previously pointed out that in order to fight, every person who is oppressed, who needs plan B, as I described at the beginning, should prepare themselves to be part of the fight. As I said, this is not our fight, a limited group, it's a fight for whoever is oppressed. But for the fight to happen and successfully, ordinary people must be transformed into fighters. And there is a transformation that is needed there. You know? Because we are born free. You see, the problem is that we are born free. So we are not born really fighters. Because God, once you come to the situation of saying, I'm ready to do something to change this, then you are a fighter. And there are people who will simply acquiesce and become slaves. You know, will say, my friend, whatever they do, I will just follow. You know? To cause all those around you to be aware, to be determined to change this situation. It will only change if people are aware and determined to change it. And as I have told you, that is learned. It is not inherent. It's not contagious even, that because I'm alert and I sleep in the same bed with the freedom we are talking about. So, that is the first call on every citizen. Awaken other person to this demand. 2 is that we have to organize. The people who are disorganized can never achieve anything. As they sometimes say, because sometimes it is difficult to initiate these processes I am talking about. So the people's government is a ready facilitator for these processes. a ready facilitator. We are available at any moment, drawn for you. The oppressed on the and the oppressor on the other side. That's our dividing line. There are no lines between the oppressed. Are we together? So, we organize non-partisan. So we want all forces of change to be united. So for us, in that process, if we notice you not firing across the line we have demarcated, if you are not firing across, you are firing this way, you are an enemy. So for us, our definition of enemies is easily made. We have only one line. You have to fire across the enemy line. Not this side. Even if actually one